Who's gonna easy A during the superhero collaboration campaign? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. We are about a week out from the reveal of the LR Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolo information and kit details. As such, I kind of wanted to spend some time this week, maybe putting out a video a day related to Dragon Ball Super Superhero. And we're going to kick things off this week with a prediction of sorts, right? Yesterday we talked about what I feel like Gohan and Piccolo's kits are going to be. Today we're going to talk about what I believe the most likely candidates for an easy A during this celebration would be. Obviously, because these guys are going to be the New Year's celebration, that means this celebration will be tied as a Dokkan Fest celebration and will last more than likely the month of January, which means we could possibly see a Dokkan Fest and LR Easy A during this campaign. So let's go ahead and hop over and take a look at one of the first likely candidates there is for an Easy A during this celebration. And we're going to look none other than the Piccolos. We look at the list of Piccolos. There's a bunch of Piccolos. Only a few have Easy A'd so far, but realistically, unless we count the LR World Tournament Piccolo or this Universe 7 Piccolo, there's really only one option. The two banner units here are unlikely to Easy A, so all that leaves is this Piccolo right here, the Kami and Demon King United Piccolo. He seems to me to be the most likely candidate given the context of the movie, and Piccolo probably going to need other Namekians on the team with him. So we need to have a good one. Makes no sense to Easy A this guy. Now, when this guy Easy A's, he's more than likely going to lead Namekians and worthy rivals for Key 4 and 170 across the board. That's usually how they handle these. His super attack will probably greatly raise defense, causing immense damage to the enemy. That seems to be how I feel they'll handle it. They have to keep him viable, so giving him the ability to greatly raise, basically a double stack every turn, would really help his usability, given what he does on his passive, right? His passive has attack and defense 100%. They'll more than likely bump that up to like 200%, maybe if we're lucky 250, but more than likely 200%. He'll probably keep his recovery at 7%. They could bump it up to 14%, but the condition of 77% or less will likely remain the same. He will have the ability to foresee enemies' super attack, and that's pretty much it. He has a very basic passive, which means they can do a whole lot with him. I think the more than likely thing they will do is give him some defensive viability early on, so he may have like some sort of damage reduction for like the first 5 turns of battle or something, maybe even guarding all attacks, right? Especially more than likely you'll be running this guy either in the slot next to the Orange Piccolo or as a third slot floater, so him having the ability to guard attacks while also greatly raising his defense in that position would be really helpful for him. But there's still so much more they could do for him, and since he has such a basic passive given how old he is, there's a good chance they could do a lot more. Now, his active skill condition to fuse with Kami is a simple 70% or more with another Namekians category starting from the 4th turn. They usually don't change active skill conditions, so this will probably be the same, but given the fact that you would be running this guy with the Orange Piccolo, not an issue, right? Upon transformation, though, he does become more offensive, but he also reduces damage, so I imagine them playing on that a little more. They'll probably give him the ability to raise his defense along with his attack while also keeping the high chance, maybe even up into a great chance, although in most cases where you get to the 4th turn transformation you can't stun anyway, so maybe they'll just leave it alone. They'll probably bump his attack and defense up to 240%, just basically doubling it, give you an incentive to transform, reducing the damage. Probably they'll keep the 40% because anything higher is pretty high. They could go 50, but I think they'll keep the 40%. They'll give him a chance to perform the critical hit, more than likely upping it to 15%, up to 50, or I guess maybe up to 45. The more HP remaining, the greater the boost. They'll also keep his recovery 10%. upping it more than likely to 14 or 15%, and keeping his ability to foresee enemy super attack. That's really how I see him building them. They like, typically with these Dokkan Fest EZAs, they don't change too much about the core of what the unit does. They simply up the stats. There's very few units who actually change the entire way the unit works. They basically just take what the unit does and they make it a little bit better. SCR Cooler is the perfect example of this, right? He was an offensive powerhouse once transformed, and all they did was just give that ability to stack in his base form. That's all they did, giving him the ability to raise defense in his base form, and then so that way you have enough defense to become an offensive powerhouse in his second form. So I see them doing a lot with this Piccolo in the same manner. Now, because this is a big Gohan and Piccolo celebration, I don't think this Piccolo is going to EZA alone. And when we look at the list of possible Gohans here, there aren't too many options yet that haven't already EZA'd. Like, we look at most of the team Gohans here. This guy is World Tournament. This guy is he's one of the 50% supports. This guy is already EZA'd. We'll talk about Tech Ultimate Gohan in a minute, and we'll have to talk about this guy in another video when we talk about what I think they're going to do with his awakening. So there's pretty much no other option for Gohan Teen or Ultimate Gohan for this matter. Every other Ultimate Gohan besides Tech Ultimate Gohan has already EZA'd. There is the possibility of this Super Saiyan Teen Gohan. He's Movie Hero support. This is Movie Heroes. I mean, that's possible. But he would be a sub EZA and not a direct Dokkan Fest EZA. And I think he awakens from the Gobros medals. So getting his sub EZA before we get the Gobros EZA seems unlikely. Not to say they haven't done it before, but they also haven't done it since. So the Tech Godku and SDR God Vegeta being the example, right? So I don't think he's the likely candidate, which only leaves one candidate. This guy here, the Int Future Gohan. Now I know what you're thinking, Celtic. Why this guy? He's got nothing to do with the movie, or, Future Saga isn't even related. However, this guy does lead Bond of Master and Disciple and supports Bond of Master and Disciple, two categories that both of the LRs will be on. So it would make sense that this guy would EZA, right? He would become Bond of Master and Disciple and Hybrid Saiyans for 170 across the board. They'll probably give him greatly, though they could. His super attack, I don't think will change because he's already greatly raising defense. They could throw the attack in there, but they'll probably keep the super attack. For his passive attack and defense, 100%. Well, they'll bump it up to. They usually bump this up, right, to 200. That's been sort of the standard for EZAs, unless they've got some other crazy stuff going on in their passive. When 58% or less, he does reduce damage received by 58%, so I don't think that part will change since it's tied to the pun in his name, so that'll probably remain the same. Now, what I do think that we will see, he does have a support buff in base form. He supports Bond and Master and Disciple category allies for Key 1 and attack and defense 30%. I can see them bumping this up to Key 2 and 40%, or they can go the cooler route and bump it up to 50%. I do feel like seeing more and more of these banner units as of late. I think 50% is starting to become the norm, so it's entirely possible that they could bump this up to 50%. Usually the 50% is kind of tied to like various different categories, like, so it has to stack up to 50%, but since this guy is an EZA, like with the cooler, it might just be a flat 50%, which will be really good and a good support unit for the Piccolo and Gohan, especially considering that since this is a New Year's banner, we don't typically get a banner unit on these, so there'll be no support unit yet released for these guys, so it's entirely possible if you've got this guy, you can use him as your support. Now, his transformation condition will likely remain unchanged, which means you will need to have a Trunks on the team. Now, if Gohan ends up being the superhero and Bond of Master and Disciple lead that I'm imagining he will be, or even if he leads that superhero category, you can run Vegeta and Trunks to get this guy's transformation off. Not that you would probably want to, given his support buff, right? But if you did, he would become attack and defense 200%. I'm imagining that's how they'll do it on his passive. His super attack will probably be raising attack and defense. They have to, right? There's no way they're going to keep him just raising attack. They'll probably give him the ability to raise defense as well. They will keep the damage reduction at 58%. Again, since that's tied to the name pun, I doubt that will change. They'll probably up his attack and defense to 50% per Bond Master and Disciple ally in the same turn. Since it is only a one-turn attacking buff, I see no reason for them not to bump it up to that high. He will have an additional super attack when there is an androids category enemy. So bringing this guy into Cell Max post EZA would be very helpful, right? Because he's going to have guaranteed additionals. So that's kind of how I imagine this guy will work. And realistically, I think these are the two most likely candidates. We'll probably see one or the other. Piccolo, I believe, more so than the others, is going to receive the EZA simply because he's a bit older, and, well, actually, no, I think the Int Gohan's older, right? 6 Jan 2020. Oh, no, okay. Yeah, the Piccolo is older. Okay. Okay, so the Piccolo is older by a month, so maybe Piccolo will be the unit to EZA. Now, they could really throw us for a loop here and go with this guy here. They could EZA this guy. He released in the same year as the rest of these guys, just a little bit later, but he also released after the Cooler, and Cooler has EZA'd, so why not the community's counterpart to the Cooler? They could do a lot for him. This could come way out of left field. I think it's unlikely, but Dokkan has proven to us that really it could be anyone, simply because they've bucked all traditions this year. So who knows? Nobody expected SDR Cooler to EZA, given that he was still so recent, and he did. So I wouldn't rule out the possibilities. Speaking of ruling out the possibilities, there's also the possibility that these two guys could EZA as well. Being that the main theme of superhero is Gohan versus Cell, we could see the LR EZAs for the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and the Int Perfect Cell. Now, this one, like the Tech Ultimate Gohan, seems way out of place. I think they're more than likely EZA will come during a worldwide celebration, but, you know, Cell versus Gohan rematch in superhero, it fits the theme. We could see these guys as an LR EZA, and I wouldn't be entirely opposed to it. But like with the Tech Ultimate Gohan, I think these three are a bit of a stretch. I think the two main possibilities are this guy and the Piccolo. So, anyways, guys, that's the video. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let me know, who do you think the likely EZA candidates are for this celebration, and what do you think they'll do? Do you think I'm in line with what the Piccolo and the Int Gohan will do, or do you have some other ideas? Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.